U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order slapping a 25% tariff on imported medium and heavy-duty trucks. The new tariff is expected to hit November 1st. There is a carve-out for vehicles traded under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement. Trucks compliant with CUSMA will only be tariffed on their non-American parts. The latest levies will not hit auto parts compliant under the North American Trade Pact for now. A 10% tariff will be placed on buses and motor coaches.
Trump just dropped the hammer again, a 25% tariff on imported heavy-duty trucks. Canada's so-called manufacturing miracle? Nope. No, this isn't some random policy tweak. It's Trump reminding everybody it's America that controls North America's economy. You see, Carney and his Ottawa buddies, they're panicking because they know what this means. They know that Canada's factories are going to stall while American jobs are booming, or going to boom. They know that Trump's putting America first again. They know that Canada is about to pay the price again.
Let's bring in international trade lawyer Robert Glasgow now. Robert, thanks for being here. Can you break down these tariffs for us? 25% on imported medium and heavy-duty trucks. To what extent will this affect Canada?
I mean, Canada has an integrated auto manufacturing capability with the U.S. and with Mexico. And up until now, the duties have been levied on passenger vehicles and light trucks, which include pickup trucks and SUVs. However, the heavy-duty market had largely escaped some of that consideration. This is largely going to hit a lot of the similar manufacturers who are building the heavy-duty trucks and the medium-duty trucks. So as you noted, for our parts market, CUSMA-compliant parts are also being carved out. And so that helps with the integrated supply chain issue, where we can continue to ferry parts back and forth across the border, because most of these trucks, like most cars, cross the border 5, 10, 20 times before they're completed.
What's happening right now is simple. Trump is protecting American workers while Canada scrambles to hold its collapsing manufacturing base together. Ottawa cannot lie. Like, seriously, for years, Canada has been coasting off of U.S. demand, exporting trucks, engines, and parts while pretending it's an industrial powerhouse. It's not. Trump called that bluff, a 25% tariff on imported heavy-duty trucks. That's not a threat. That's a wake-up call. Here's what the president shared on his social media. Beginning November 1st, 2025, all medium and heavy-duty trucks coming into the United States from other countries will be tariffed at the rate of 25%. Thank you for your attention to this matter. There you go. For a long time, leaders like Mark Carney and crew, they lectured America about global cooperation, letting Canadian plants rely entirely on U.S. markets. They built nothing of their own. Their entire auto economy is welded to America's success. And now that Trump's putting America first, they're panicking. Suddenly, integration doesn't sound so great. The U.S. is deciding to shake off the dead weight. It's decided to not be taken advantage of anymore. So, let's be real. Canada does not innovate. Their factories exist because American automakers needed cheaper labor and fewer regulations. The era of it's all ending. Trump's tariffs are forcing Canada to face a reality. Something like, you need to make something of real value or get out of the way. The fact that Carney's crowd is concerned tells you a lot. They're scared that Trump's strategy is actually working. It's actually working. This isn't about punishing. It's about defending American industry. Every truck built here means more jobs, stronger wages, and independence from weak trading partners who talk partnerships, but live off of U.S. demand. Canada made its choice. It followed globalist economics instead of national strength. Trump's making his choice clear too. Protect American power, not Canadian profits. So when you see Canadian media cry trade war, you got to understand what's really going on. Trump just reclaimed the steering wheel of North American manufacturing. America is building again, and Canada is watching from the passenger seat.
Trump is imposing this tariff on national security grounds. Your take on that?
He kind of has to because he doesn't really have another alternative. Section 232, which gives him this broad discretion to levy tariffs, requires it to be on national security grounds. Is one of the reasons why a lot of people have thought that this might be susceptible to a challenge similar to that brought under IEEPA. So while that focused on whether or not tariffs were authorized, this would focus on whether or not there's actually a national security purpose.
What's happening right now isn't just another tariff announcement. It's a statement of power. Trump isn't playing the globalist game anymore. Certainly not written in Davos or the World Economic Forum. He's using Section 232 because it gives him the authority to defend the U.S. economy as a matter of national security. And you know what? He's right. American industrial base, that is of national security. Without strong manufacturing, there's no defense. There's no supply chain, no independence. Canada and the elites like Carney, all those guys, they think it's laughable. Call it protectionism. Of course they do. They've been protected by the U.S. for decades. Canada's entire economic survival depends on America's quiet, empty factory floor. When Trump says, we're taking our industry back, they're freaking out because they know they can't stand on their own 2 feet. Now it's changing. Here's the facts. Canadian manufacturing exists because the U.S. allowed it. For years, American automakers sent production north for cheap labor and weaker regulations. All the while, Canadian politicians bragged about innovation. What innovation? You haven't built anything. You haven't built your own cars. You're assembling ours in America. Trump's 25% tariff hits exactly where it hurts. The illusion of Canadian independence, it's a lie. You see, now they're crying about national security. Funny how that works. When Canada's piggybacking on American defense industry, it's called cooperation. When Trump uses the same logic to say, no more to strengthen American borders and rebuild his factories, suddenly it's authoritarian. Give me a break. This is leadership, strong, unapologetic, rooted in putting America first, because he's the American president. He's not your prime minister. Put Pierre in. There's news, maybe. CTV even said it. You guys said it. Maybe Pierre could be prime minister in weeks. Absolutely. That'd be amazing. 2 Trump-style leaders makes for a stronger West. Absolutely. Mark Carney and his crowd hate it. They spent their entire careers preaching prosperity, shared prosperity. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Quietly draining everything it can from the U.S. Like Canada's trade lawyers and economists can twist words all day. They can say constitutional challenges, integrated markets, blah, blah, blah. They can say all this stuff. But they're scared because Trump has exposed how dependent their system really is. Without U.S. demand, their factories stop. Without U.S. defense contracts, their so-called innovation economy collapses. The tariff isn't about trucks. It's about reclaiming leverage. Trump knows Canada has been free riding on U.S. production for a long time, and he's saying no more. Globalism doesn't work. He knows what happens when globalists outsource everything. Outsource American strength. Whole towns in Michigan, like Ohio, Pennsylvania, they were gutted so Canada and Mexico could enjoy cheap exports and call it partnership. Section 232 gives Trump the legal grounds to reverse that. He's not hesitating to use it. And what's really bothering Otto right now isn't the tariff, it's the message behind it. That America no longer needs you guys, no longer needs to play global politics, no longer needs to be just fair. No, America fights for America. America is going to be strong. That's why Carney and the liberal media are mocking the national security justification. They want you guys to think Trump's bluffing. He's not. He's rebuilding. He's doing what he needs to do to rebuild America.
Because Canada and the United States have historically been such an integrated autos market and such an integrated defense market that it's somewhat laughable as a concept to think that this is a national security measure.
Right. What do you believe is President Trump's intention with this move?
The intention is largely to continue his protectionist rhetoric, especially with the constitutionality of IEEPA up for debate and before the current U.S. Supreme Court. He's probably looking to buttress the amount of goods that are covered by other tariff schedules, like Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act.
Now, while they're still debating climate targets and diversity quotas, Trump's getting stuff done. Let's not ignore the political timing. The auto workers are the backbone of America's middle class. They are behind him. The United States auto worker leadership knows that under Trump, factories reopened and real wages rose. The loyalty matters, and those workers wave American flags. Trump is listening to them. He's not like, though, you're just, chauvinism is the reason. No. You see, just because some smug Canadian lawyer puts it that way, it's not it. It's not it at all. Those workers are waving American flags. Trump listens to them. Not because, as I mentioned, some chauvinistic reason, as some Canadian lawyer says. He's actually valuing the people who make the country move. Washington forgot about these guys. Trump didn't, and that's exactly why he won, why he's winning politically. People understand strength. They understand sovereignty. They understand loyalty. Trump is all those things. He is not apologizing. He's delivering results. Manufacturing is national security, plain and simple. If America can produce its own trucks, its own steel, its own weapons, then it's just another dependent economy like Canada. That's why Section 232 isn't just justified, it's needed. The irony is crazy. Canada calling Trump extreme while their own government hides behind American defense treaties and U.S.-funded security umbrellas. Isn't that funny? Shared defense, but America foots the bill. Providing the tech. And now America's reclaiming control and production. If Canada really believes in independence, it would stop whining and start building.
His eyes are set on an American economy that existed decades ago, yet Donald Trump is on a quest to bring it back.
A lot of companies are moving into the U.S. so they don't have to pay tariff.
On Thursday night, the tariff trolley pulled out of the station again, and among the new targets, cabinetry, trucks, pharmaceuticals, and furniture, with 2 set to sting Canada. Heavy trucks, despite USMCA protections, will face a 25% tariff, while furniture, where Canada is a top 5 exporter to the U.S., will be at 30% come October 1st.
So here's the bottom line. Trump isn't targeting Canada out of spite. He's reminding the world who runs the engine of the continent. He's standing up for American workers, American steel, American sovereignty. The people are panicking. The ones who thought U.S. would never stand up for itself again. They thought the era of globalism was permanent, here to stay. Trump said, nope. Some think Trump's a passing storm. No, I say, what happens when you say you get a J.D. Vance? Basically a younger Trump. Maybe a little more restrained in his speech, but equally strong, equally loves America. Charlie Kirk fought tooth and nail to get J.D. Vance into office. So when you have somebody like that, somebody that has the endorsement of the late and great Charlie Kirk, I don't think globalism is here to stay. You're looking at least 9, 10, who knows, maybe 15 years before you might even think about trying to reintroduce that idea. And at that point, I would think, especially after 2 J.D. Vance terms, where let's say he does 80% of what Trump has done, the American economy, America at large, will see the difference between wokeism, globalism, all the bad isms. They'll see the result of that. And they'll see the end result of a prosperous America, free speech, freedom of religion, and a stable economy. The world's calmer. They're going to go, yeah, we're never going to go back. At that point, maybe it'll be like another few generations before the globalists try again. You see, Canada can complain. Carney can lecture all he wants. Lawyers can write op-eds. None of it changes the reality. The U.S. is done playing defense for weak economies that are willing to put in their fair share. America's back in charge. It's confident and self-reliant and unapologetically strong. That is what Canada needs. So replace Carney. Get Pierre in there. Change what you got going on, Canada. Seriously, it can be done. And that's all that I have for you today, guys. From us here at Zone Media Network, I'm Griffin, your host. Feel free to head on over to American Zone for the latest American news, where you'll see me there. And you will see all my opinions on all of the news in America. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and again, comment down below. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.